Welcome, would-be heroes and aspiring adventurers, to Tales from Terra. This is a Terra Magia actual play, the first Terra Magia actual play, and hopefully not the last. This is going to be session 0 for Monarchs and Murderers, our very first campaign, and we're going to be building a couple of integral characters, the heroes. Would you like to introduce yourself, heroes?
Well, my name is Hannah, and I am playing Max. Maxine if you're upset with her. Pronouns are she, her, and Maxine is a Vanara human hybrid, I guess we'll call it. She is really into mechanical tinkering and creating things and manipulating electricity and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited to finally build the character and get this concept in my brain out onto paper.
Hell yeah. What about you, sir?
Hi, guys. My name is David. I'm going to be playing the character Shin. Shin is a human, and Shin, he has kind of a modeled past. He's going to be kind of your atypical soldier. And let's just say, I know you introduced us as heroes. I'm just going to say, yeah, we'll see.
Borderline anti-hero.
I don't know about anti-hero either. That's giving him some credit. He's not someone I would look up to.
Heroes in the sense of the camera's gonna follow them in this story.
Oh yeah.
Protagonist, we'll call it.
Yeah, let's go with protagonist.
Yeah. He's a marksman, and as I mentioned, he is a human, but there's a twist that I'm gonna save before we actually get going.
All right. Well, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Raul.
He, him pronoun, sorry.
Oh yeah. What's your pronoun? He, him? You said?
Him. Yes.
Right. So I did forget to introduce myself. My name is Raul Alejandro Gonzalez Enriquez, but you can call me Ali. And anywhere on the internet, I'm Lycus Stratus because I keep naming myself that, even though I've never used it in real life. So I'm going to be the DM for this. So I'm going to be everyone else. And most importantly, I am going to be playing what I believe is the head of the detective agency, which is the core theme of this story. Is we are detectives working a wild and dangerous case, and the head of the detective agency, in my opinion, is Bison, the 10-year-old nephew of our hero Shin.
He's really the brains behind everything. Kind of holds down the fort.
Yeah.
While we're out there.
On the business cards, we have to decide the name for the detective agency, but on the back, whatever it says on the front, on the back it says Bison and Friends.
CEO.
Oh, all I do is marry to friends? Oh.
It's like family.
It's fair.
All right, so we're going to go through character creation. We're going to try and make it a little speedy since we don't want to take everyone's time up. But we are playing a game that I created called Terra Magia. And since no one has any idea what this game is, I figured it'd be nice to go through and kind of work out the characters together. So you guys already mentioned your character ancestries, which is basically just racial backgrounds in most other games. It's in this game it is a mixture of genetic backgrounds, and the idea behind ancestries is that genetically anyone can be anything from anyone if that person has that ancestry in their bloodline somewhere in some point, meaning that it's all about genetic density, sort of like many regular human traits in real life, meaning that if someone's human and they have 2 Oni parents, that means that those Oni parents maybe had 2 parents behind them that were half Oni, half human, or whatever else, and they have human genetics within them, and they together made a human. Because it's just the genetics that happen to get swung together.
But where do babies actually come from?
Yeah.
So every creature in this has a cloaca.
Got it.
Finally.
Finally.
So efficient.
But since you've already picked your character ancestries, I just wanted to remind everyone a couple of points. Then I'm going to ask you about whether which of these points is prevalent for your character. Mm-hmm. For humans, their ancestry, they tend to be more. Well, humans in Terra are like punks at a rock band here on Earth, but that's just the way they come out. They have the crazy hair, the colorful streaks. They have tattoos that are just naturally grown on their bodies. And these tattoos are actually pretty significant for humans because they are birthmarks that denote your family heritage. Humans tend to have similar birthmarks throughout the generations that slowly change over time as you add more and more people to your family. So let's start with Shin. David, what is your family's birthmark?
My family's birthmark is a tattoo. My family's birthmark is a lotus flower. It is primarily white. It is a white lotus, except along the edges of the petals, it's red. It's bright blood red.
Beautiful.
I haven't actually thought of my family's last name. I don't know if that matters, but I did get their tattoo, their birthmark.
May I make a suggestion?
Please.
Indeed. The last name could be Megami Tensei.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
No? All right.
There's going to be a lot of references that I don't
So I'm
get.
going to just hang up now, guys. It's been fun.
Cool. Yeah, forget it. We don't have to talk about Shin Megami Tensei ever again.
Dude, we should always talk about Shin Megami Tensei.
All right, but enough about that. Hannah, tell us about Max and her birthmark / tattoo, if you don't mind.
So, since I am not full human, is there anything I should know about like limitations on the birthmark, or does that not matter?
No, there are certain characteristics that pass on to any person with a mixed. Really does not sound great, does it?
Hybrid. Hybrid.
With a hybrid dual heritage.
Like a Prius.
Like a Prius. And for
sourced ancestry. Locally sourced ancestry.
Yes, locally sourced indeed. And with humans, one of the character traits, one of the traits physically that always pass on is the marking. When it's mixed, when it's human oni combinations, the markings, instead of being the colorful tattoo, is typically the patterned leathery hide of the onis, while the rest is more human flesh.
Okay.
But for Vanara and human, it's just a tattoo.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, my tattoo from my human ancestral line is a bunch of intersecting gears that sort of swirls up my arm and kind of comes across my chest, and then a little bit onto my face up here, just barely up onto the forehead, and it's just black and white, or not white, just black.
Black and contrast.
Black and more black. And it's just a bunch of cool looking gears and little like mechanical pieces intersecting.
That sounds freaking rad.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Man, let me just tell you, we're gonna get along.
I think so. I feel like when we met, it was just like we just knew. We're like, I'm gonna know you forever. You know that? Anyway, I'm also Vanara, so my traits that pass along, I guess I would assume, are like the tail.
Yes, Vanara, they will always have their prehensile tail, as well as their deciduous teeth. That meaning they are teeth that fall out constantly, sort of like
That's
shark
gonna be
teeth.
annoying.
So what it does mean though, positive side, you can eat very hard foods. Your teeth will just kind of break and fall out, and then just another one will pop in, and it's fine.
No problem. All right. So,
You
yeah.
make a
So
necklace out of your own teeth and still not be happy.
that wouldn't be weird at all.
Not weird at all.
Nope.
Dude, super intimate Venaran culture thing. They like lovers, like young lovers. Instead of trading like promise rings, they trade necklaces of their
Oh my
teeth.
Aw,
I give
that's
you my
so gross,
canine.
and I love it.
I love you. Here's a tooth.
There's your lore, man. I got you.
Just so you guys know ahead of time, in terms of what you get from being these things, Vanara, they are very sturdy people. You have natural armor, you have immunity or resistance to poisons because you're partial Vanara. You have a natural bite attack because of your lovely teeth, and you have a fucking tail that you can hold a gun with.
I love that. It's honestly 95% of the reason why I chose Venara. It's the tail.
Really? 95 was tail, and then the other 5% was split through all the other cool things he just mentioned?
Yeah, I just really like the tail.
With humans, the other things other than the rad tattoos that you're just naturally born with, also your hair colors can be whatever the hell you want.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you on that one.
All right. But you are relentless, which means that for partial humans, you can go for 3 rounds after you hit 0 VP and 0 HP, and just keep on attacking, keep on fighting, keep on doing whatever the hell you need to. But you do take a -4 penalty.
Bad. Okay, well that's fair. But
But
that's
I
still
mean, that
awesome.
gives you 3 rounds to try and heal yourself or get the fuck out. So.
Yes.
For full human ancestry, the penalty is only -2, so you might actually still be useful.
Hey, what up?
And you are both. You have who sleeps as a racial perk, as a ancestral perk. Sorry. For the partial ancestry, you can go 1 night, any sleep, and take no penalties. You can just stay up all night and you still rest as if it was going to bed. You get your full heal, all of that stuff.
Nice.
For full humans, 2 whole nights. You can just keep trucking. Humans don't give a shit.
Nice.
Good. I like this. I like this concept. I'm gonna spend many a night tinkering in my, not a lab. What would be the word? It's not a lab. It's a
Workshop?
Laboratory.
workshop. That's the word. Not laboratory.
What's another word for lab?
Fucking laboratory.
So- I'm missing the wrong. So let's go on to creating your stats.
Yes.
The first thing I would like to know ahead of time is, before building your stats, are there any archetypes, which are basically the kinds of skills and abilities you can get in the future? Are there any archetypes that you would be more likely to want than others? Because an archetype, they require a set stat for you to acquire those perks from. So if you know what the stat that or what the requirement for that perk is, you can just start, setting your stats up that way.
Yes. I am drawn to the Mastermind perks.
Hell yeah.
So.
What about you, David? Any particular archetypes you're interested in?
Marksman, baby.
All right, so we're going for some logics and some is marksman agility and logic or intuition?
Agility and
I saw
logic.
intuition on there.
Oh.
It has been
I think-
I'm gonna say a hot minute since I wrote that up.
Right.
Looks like agility and logic.
Oh, that's spelled. Agility and logic. That
Yeah.
works. That'll work.
That'll
Oh
do.
yeah. I want you guys to know right now that Bison is his archetype, his primary archetype is Titanic Paladin or Champion. I forgot if I
cool.
changed that or not.
Those perks were pretty rad when I was reading through them.
Yes, they're probably one of the more intricate ones because there are so many major gods in this. But
Yes.
it's gonna be fun. His god is Agor. So he can just randomly request a knowledge of anything by giving up a memory or a knowledge that he owns and completely forgetting it forever.
God, that's cool.
Let me know when he forgets me.
We'll see.
When he starts. I walk in and he's like, "Oh,
where are you
going? Where are you?"
That's gonna be uncomfortable. I don't know about that, but he's definitely gonna forget that really shitty dinner you took him to the other night.
Oh. Yeah,
Dave and Buster's. Yeah.
Lucky me. That means I can take him back again.
All right. So back to the stats. Start off by whatever stat bonuses you might have gotten from your ancestry. Go ahead and plug those in first. I believe for humans you get a +2, and for partial humans you get a +1. I don't think partial Zonara get any stat bonuses because you get so many resistances.
Yes. +1 endurance. So we start with 1, right? And then we add 1 based on...
Yes. First we're adding 1 for your ancestry, and David's adding 2. And now just put a +1 in everything, including your endurance, which is going to go up to 2 now.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I'm putting 1 in everything.
1 in everything.
Or a human, so 2 in everything?
Nope, you're still putting 1 in everything, but
your
endurance gets a +2 because you're human.
Got it.
It says on the thingy.
That's true. Sorry.
God, keep up.
Wowzers.
All right.
So I actually altered this earlier today because I was going through, and originally the point buy was 24 points after the initial 6, which was way too much.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, this will be fun, but you're right.
Well, I think the initial idea was 24 total, and it started at 18, but I forgot about the original 6.
Right. There you go. There it is.
But now you have 18 stat points to just throw into whatever stats you want. 1 point, 1 stat point. It's even keeled.
Okay.
Feel free to min-max. Feel free to try and be kind of even, but keep in mind what perks you're looking for.
Right. Is there anything else we should keep in mind besides perks and like general character concept?
Yes. When creating your stats, remember that there are some stats that are derivative of those primary ones. Your physical stats all add up to become your health. Your mental stats all add up to become your total NP.
Right.
And specifically your influence and your endurance add up to become your VP. A VP is essentially a secondary health bar, but it's the health bar that sets you aside from other people. Other people in the world just have HP. You are protagonists. You get a little buffer. There is 100% a clear difference between random people walking on the street and other random people who can murder them in a thought. And people know this.
I'm definitely going to put a lot of my points then in VP, I think.
So just influence and some endurance?
Well, I need to keep my things in mind, my perks. So Let's see, I've got 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, which tier do I want to go up to?
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So I have to put 8 into both logic and agility, for example, to get tier 4 marksman, right?
Oh, you're going all the way for the top, like right away.
Well, I was just wondering.
Yes, yes.
That's what I'd have to do.
Yes, you
but
have
these
to whatever.
Things go up as we level.
Yes, every other level you get 1 stat point right now, but I'm thinking about changing it to 2. But I haven't had enough playtesting to 100% decide.
Okay.
I keep switching back and forth.
I think I'm gonna go with 6 in agility, 6 in logic, so I can get that juicy tier 2 actually.
Hell yeah.
Because I want to kind of put into some VP. Okay, so let's see. So I have 18 points, you said?
Yep, 18 points.
Remind me, are these weighted like point buy? Or are these just 18 points I can distribute wherever?
18 points you can distribute wherever.
Okay,
it's a 1-to-1 ratio.
That's a good question.
Nice. Okay.
No.
So I don't need to put
I wanted this game to be slightly crunchy because I know a lot of people enjoy that. Even I enjoy that sometimes. But I didn't want it to be like you have to do algebra. I wanted it to be simple maths.
Yeah. I think, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
If I put in enough points to, say, meet the archetype of another perk, I don't get that perk, do I?
What do you mean?
Like, so I'm going archetype marksman, but let's say I just do the minimum I need for marksman, and then I kind of go and start dumping in other points into like other combinations. Say, if I dumped in if I made it to like another 5 strength with my agility, do I also get sportsman? I don't also get sportsman, right? I have to just declare one archetype?
No. This is meant to make your perfect character. If you meet the requirements, you can take from there, no matter what it is.
Sweet.
Say that again. What did you just slam down on us?
Holy shit. Okay.
Let me clarify that.
Crazy.
One of the reasons that for Terra Magia is that I wanted it to be very much a character creation extravaganza. You can make your perfect character. So for archetypes, for abilities, perks, the way it works is that if you meet the stat requirement, you could take the perk, even if it's from different archetypes. Those archetypes are just generic ideas. The idea of a rogue. It's the idea of a paladin. It doesn't mean you have to be that. You can take one perk from everything if you manage to meet those stat requirements. But you're probably going to be pretty high level if you do that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
I'm dropping into some logic hardcore now.
So yes, please do mix and match. It's meant to be that.
I am also glad there are those free-for-all perks, which don't require any prerequisites, right?
Exactly, because in per level you only get so many perks at a time. It's essentially, you're learning skills and abilities. You only have so much brain and bandwidth for that in one day, in 1 year, whatever amount of time. So you can only learn so many per level. And if you're willing to spend one of those perk slots on a free for all perk, go right ahead. They can be very.
The one that stuck out to me was, for my character in particular, was gear specialist.
Yes, for the more fancy weapons, right?
Yeah. Is that so? When it says can use equipment marked as specialty without penalty, I guess I haven't really dived into what that means. The concept sounds appealing for Max, but can you give some examples of specialty equipment?
Yes. So there's obviously a smorgasbord of weaponry in this, seeing as it is a modern fantasy game. There's the usual swords and daggers and mauls and whatnot, but then there's also actual fucking guns. And
nice to meet you. I'm Shin.
Nice to meet you. And there is a pretty standard variety of said weaponry. They're separated into a couple different classifications, ranged, martial, that sort of thing, but each one is also separated into basic, specialized, or specialty, and then hybrid weapons. Basic weapons anyone can use. It's pick up and use this weapon. It's a bow, it's a regular gun, it's anything that you pick up, click, or pick up and hit, and it's simple.
Okay.
Specialty are things that are a little more niche. They are like the giant's bow, which is a bow so large you need a physical strength requirement to use it, because it's so large you shoot javelins.
Okay. I got my stats.
Okay.
But then there's also hybrid weapons, which you might be interested in as your character concept. Because hybrid weapons are weapons that allow you to have a martial weapon, which is melee, and a ranged weapon in one weapon, such as the gauntlet Glock, which is just a gauntlet that when you punch someone, it shoots them instead.
Ah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
10.
I will probably need one of those.
Let me see. Let me see.
They're a little pricey, but I'm willing to you guys run an agency. We haven't decided yet, but
Bison's definitely managing the books.
perfect.
Shin might be a little bit of a demanding person too. I imagine there's like, okay, here's what we need for this case, and he's just like, Bison, get the thing. Bison, here's what I need.
Oh, perfect.
And he's a brat about it.
So, question about like, I'm inclined to do sort of a min-max thing right now, but
I'm min-maxed.
I need to know what the consequences of that are. Like, so how do these stats function in game? How do we use them in game?
Right. So Terra Magia runs on a D10 system. And the idea with this D10 system is that it's going to be less chance-based than the usual D20 system for things like D&D or Pathfinder or whatever else. If you're good at something, the chances of you succeeding are extravagantly high, because all you need to do to succeed on an average roll is a 10. But there might be things that are more difficult. And more importantly, there's something called degrees of success, which is how far above the difficulty how do you succeed? Because a lot of roles, such as if someone's blocking and you're attacking them, whoever gets the most degrees of success, they win. And maybe you're rolling on a hard difficulty, which you have to hit a 15, and maybe they're rolling on an easy one because of whatever dumb reason. So that degree of success is really important, and having a very low stat means that the chance of you getting any degrees of success are pretty darn slim. But that's what skills are for. You can spread out your skills to try to make up for some of your lower stats.
Okay. So here's what I've got for my guy.
I bit my lip and I am bleeding.
Oh, you
We've
poor
already drawn
silly
blood.
boy.
He's just
Iron.
so passionate about this game.
All right, coming at you hard. For 1 in strength.
1 in strength. What a man.
Oh no, I was gonna do that too. We can't both have a 1 in strength.
It's okay.
Hey.
It's okay. Believe in Bison. He will make up for your weaknesses somehow.
Bison,
The
you're
10
carrying
years.
the
Agility 8.
All right.
Endurance 6. Logic
job.
6. Intuition 1. The perfect detective.
Oh, we have 2 1s.
And
Super.
influence 3.
Influence 3. All right.
I'm min-maxed. It was originally Logic 8, Influence 1, but I decided, no, I want some VP.
All right.
All right, let me just think for a second and I'll have some for you.
Okay.
I've used 10. Let's do...
Thing is, though, he's got the agility, but he's not going to use it often.
I don't think I'm interested in endurance too much. So, let's do my poise block though. Oh, that could be bad in combat. Well, let's see what this looks like. I put a 5 here.
Regarding combat, no matter what you put points into, there should be some combat ability for you. Combat is broken up into three combat skills, which you get independent skill points for. Not during character creation, they're independent. Afterwards, they're just part of the skill points. But magic is related to your logic and intuition. Martial weapons are related to strength and agility.
Okay.
And ranged weapons are agility and intuition.
Okay.
So if you have any one of those,
Marksman is agility logic, though.
that's because you have different. That's because they're a different kind of shooter.
Okay, got it. Just making sure.
Okay.
The marksman is, I'm going to plan out this shot. I'm going to make sure that it the wind is blowing in the right direction, and so on and so forth.
HP
Perfect.
is what again? What's the combination for HP?
You just add up all of your physical stats, and I believe
Oh.
add a flat number to it as well. Let's see here.
Yeah, but let me get my let me do my HP.
Mabel, move your body. That's my cat. Sorry, guys.
Kitty.
Hey, Mabel.
Yes. For starting calculations, your HP is just each of your physical stats added together.
Okay.
So I'm
So-
sitting on
I
15.
think I have it. I think this is what I'm doing. Ready?
Hell yeah.
Logic 7.
All right.
Influence 5. Intuition 5. Agility 5. Endurance 2. Strength 1.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're actually pretty well rounded.
I mean, I'm very like
Yeah.
mind heavy,
Yeah, that's fine.
you know?
You're still smart and intuitive, and you're able to think on your feet, and also get the fuck out if you need to.
Correct.
And, make some actions.
Plus,
Given what
there-
we yeah.
Plus, and I know we're going to talk about perks later, but there's a perk that I have that I want that's going to serve my purpose for like attacking with my brains instead of my brawn, if you catch my drift.
I think I do. I think I remember this perk.
It's called Brains Before Brawn, just for all,
Yes,
for
exactly.
all the viewers out there.
So, are you guys ready to move on to your skill points?
Let's do it.
Wait,
Alright.
how do we calculate? MP is also just the other
Yep,
numbers.
just mental stats all across the board.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So and VP is, you said,
Influence plus
and
endurance. Yep.
Okay. So sitting HP 15, MP 10, VP 9.
Mhm. In the character creation section, if at any time you're not sure, there should be diagrams showing you more or less how this all pans out.
Gotcha. 17. Nice.
Nice, nice,
Nice.
nice, nice.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
My HP is dismal, let me tell you.
Hey, once we level up, we'll get some stuff in there.
We'll see what happens.
This doesn't have to come up until later, and I can cut this out, whatever. But when you level up, every other level you can choose to add half of your HP total to your HP, or half of your MP total to your MP, and just keep stacking up.
Oh.
But you have to pick one or the other
Okay.
every
Okay.
other level. So you can choose to just stack up that energy to blast the mofos, or you can choose to get a nice sturdy self behind yourself.
Okay.
Your VP automatically grows every other level.
Okay.
Perfect. So what did you say your VP was?
Influence
Hannah?
and endurance.
No, Hannah.
My VP
Oh.
is 7.
Ha! I got more VP than you.
Well, how much MP do you have?
10.
I have 17.
How much HP do you have?
8.
I have 15.
That seems about right.
So,
Hey,
yeah,
we're on the same team
You know,
here.
we're kind of balanced. We're kind of balanced.
No,
we're
it's true.
evening out.
It's like real life. We balance
Yeah.
each other.
Max is definitely
Oh,
gonna
I
throw
guess-
Shin in front.
I don't know if we should. I don't know if this matters to the viewers or anything. But we're married.
And
I know
I'm
doing this
married.
doesn't mean anything. So obviously, I'm talking about myself and Ollie.
Yes, I'm married to David. It's been a lovely
This is
17
news
years.
to me,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to talk later, David.
Hey, come on, this is 2021, right?
I
Yeah,
know.
2021.
Jeez.
The future,
All right.
God damn it.
So
I'm just behind.
So, skills. The skills are a little bit more mathy to figure out because I couldn't find a more balanced way to do it. Gosh darn it. But essentially, every skill has a corresponding stat, and it should be pretty easy to figure out which ones because they are directly inside of a box connected to that stat on the character's page.
Yep.
And each one of those triangles on the character sheet is one tier, and those triangles represent a D4. Because at each tier, you get that many D4s to add to your roll. That's what a skill is.
Every time you roll it.
Yes.
Not just like once per long rest or something.
No, every single time. It is you have learned this thing and it is a part of you. So for example, if I'm an influencer and I'm rolling to lie to someone's face, and I have one skill, 1 point or one tier in my skill for bluff, that means I roll my D10, I roll my D4, and I add those together. And then I add all of that to my influence stat.
Got it.
And if that hits 10, assuming it's an average difficulty, you succeed. Which it probably will at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope so.
The tiers for skills can go up or start at Adept, which you only get 1 D4, Master, which you get 2 D4, and Titan, which you get 3 D4, because at that point you're a fucking god at that one particular thing you're doing. You get 9 unallocated skill points. Whoop, I shook my camera real hard. You get 9 unallocated skill points at character creation to spread about. Any adept level skill, you only need 1 skill point to unlock. To get to master of any skill point, of any skill, you need to first unlock the adept, so that's 1 unallocated skill point. And then to get the master one, you have to pay 2 more, because that's how many D4 you would get by being a master.
Okay. So this one is kind of weighted in that way.
Yes, this one is weighted. I couldn't think of a better way to do it, because otherwise you could just become incredibly good at a lot of things very quickly.
Do you get skill ranks when you level?
You get skill points when you level, which you can store up and then buy a big boy, or you can shoot your load everywhere right away and just become a master of everything, or a master of none, whatever the rest of that saying is.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly, that thing.
We got you. So, okay. So we get 9 unallocated skill points to distribute.
Yep. So you can be adept at 9 whole things, or adept at 7 things and a master of 1 thing, or a master of whatever. I don't know. You figure that out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
This does not count for combat skills, by the way. This is purely your skills within your stat blocks.
What did I just do here? There we go.
So this is probably I'm definitely cutting this out. This is probably the most complicated chunk of the character creation. What do you think? I know you guys are pretty used to character creating, with weighted things. So.
No, it makes sense to me, I think.
Yeah. I think just as I'm kind of wrapping my head around it, once you wrap your head around it, it's really simple. Right?
Cool.
I think for people who have played D&D or similar games before, it'll make sense.
Cool. I tried to be real descriptive in the character creation section, but it came out kind of wordy.
No, it makes sense.
So Hannah, your character is probably going to go pretty heavy tech use, right?
Definitely. I'm probably going to put 2 ranks in there, but I'm not sure yet. I'm getting there. I think security would be cool too, because it's like electronics, hacking,
Security also counts for just like actual locks.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lock.
It's just your standard mechanical physical lock.
And hacking too. Like I'm not saying it isn't anything that's a security. It's just that a lot of games put that in agility, but like unlocking a lock with a lockpick, you have to just know what you're doing.
Right. God damn it.
Also, if you need any clarification on any of the skills, let me know. I know that the two that people typically have asked me, like, hey, what the fuck is this? Or the few that people have asked me, what the fuck is this? Push in strength is literally push. You push things, but it is the skill that I use when you want to do like a grapple or like a wrestling sort of thing.
Okay.
Poise is the reverse of that. It is your inability to get knocked down if someone tries to push you or do whatever. It also is like if I don't know, the earth quakes and you're gonna try and fall or whatever, you want to try and not fall down. That would be the one that gets rolled. The other two least common ones, I guess, would be labor and artisanship in intuition, and the other one was the strength. Labor is just you're doing a task that requires you to, I don't know, cut down a tree or whatever else. Instead of just rolling an attack, you roll that and you can chop for days, do whatever.
Like repetitive strength-based labor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I might be throwing my skill points like way off of my stats.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just kind of covering. I think I might just be covering my bases here.
That's a good question. Like, when you roll, does the base score affect the roll, right? In terms of degrees of failure and success.
Yes.
How does it?
I set a difficulty that can be easy, medium. It can be easy, average, hard, or extreme. Just depending on sort of the situation. Most things will be average just because we live in a world that's average for the most part. But you have to hit whatever that goal is. Average is a 10, and hard is a 15, extreme is a 20. Most things are an extreme. But for when you roll, you add up all of your stuff. If you have a 5 in your stat and you have one skill dice, you add that to your stat, and then if all of that equals 15, you get 5 degrees of success.
Okay.
Which might be great, or it might not be enough to beat whatever the other person rolled.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
And I know that this seems like there's a lot that you can distribute and try to make up for, a lot of your weaknesses, which there is, and that's kind of the point, to try and become a broad and well-rounded person. Mm-hmm. But there's, because of the way that the stats are created, to know that you're going to be successful in any one thing, you typically min-max. Everyone does, and it's what is expected, to be honest. Yeah. But that means that there are certain stats that unless you put a focus on the skills in, you're not going to succeed almost ever. Yeah. For example, right. David, unless you put a lot of skills into your strengths, you're almost never going to succeed at strength.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'm almost never going to succeed at strength.
Perfect.
Me neither.
See, that's what I assume.
We'll just carry Bison around with us.
Yeah.
He'll be our meat.
He's going to be a rippled 10-year-old. I'm sticking with 10, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
I still think you should make some sort of robot. That's not me.
Now, this isn't really for the character, for the listeners, but I'm going to make Bison a magical prodigy.
Hell yeah.
So he's going to be I need to be strong, and I wanted to come up with a skill or ability that he can just transfer his highest stat over to wherever he wants it, via spell. And that's my plan for Bison, to be a fucking monstrosity.
Hell yeah.
Also, David, while you're doing math, do you want me to tell you what I decided for your arm and the mechanics behind it?
Please.
So every time you use your cybernetic arm to create a weapon or whatever else, you roll a d100. On a high roll, you get exactly what you wanted. On a low roll, you get whatever I want.
Okay.
If you get a 1, then you put severities into a custom affliction for you called AI.
Oh no.
Every time that you roll the d100, the 1 goes up to a 2, 3, 5, whatever.
Mhm.
And once you hit that target range, you add a severity. On severity 1 through 5 of AI affliction, when you do a high roll, it goes, like I said, everything's normal. On a low roll, not only do you get whatever weapon I decide or whatever item I decide, I take 1 major action per round. And when you get to severity 5 through 9, you lose an entire round to me. And then
Brutal.
once you break severity 10, we swap roles. I am you and you are the AI.
Okay, that's rad. That's rad. Right.
To reduce the severity chunk, if you will, you have to roll 3 successful mental fortitude checks. Oh, I should have told you that.
That's okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Are you
like,
done yet,
remember
David?
this is yeah. Like, remember, I just want to say, like, this is the thing that's kind of like happened to him. Like, he probably was never actually prepared for this, so this is fine.
Cool.
I am not done. No, not yet. Sorry, hang on.
So, on a scale of, have you guys ever played Pathfinder?
Yes.
All right. On a scale of 3.5 to Pathfinder, how long do you think this character creation is taking?
Not as long as Pathfinder so
I haven't played Pathfinder.
Pathfinder is brutal. Like, Pathfinder, you get lost in like the list of feats and shit. Like, it's stupid long.
Yeah.
I get that way with. I can spend hours on a 5e D&D character though.
Yeah, I guess.
I only ever use the apps, so I just kind of click through.
Okay, I think I have one more. I will put it here. All right, I think I'm done.
Okay. So I'm going to move on for Hannah real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Because this part is very simple. We're adding our combat skills. So there are 3 combat skills. There's combat casting, arms combat, and martial combat.
Okay.
The names explain what they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty self-explanatory. You get 3 unallocated skill dice to put into this. So you can have 1 in everything and be kind of all right at most forms of combat, or you can put 2 in one of them and be very specialized.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I think I've got mine as well. Let me just count this out. 1. Yeah. All right, I think I've got it.
Is it the same deal?
Did you take Judge Intent? Because I did not take Judge Intent, and I hope one of us did.
I did not.
That's all right. My DM character will just follow you around.
I could move one around though. I mean.
What did you go? Well, like, let me just ask you, because our characters with this tech stuff, we're overlapping hardcore.
No, I'm gonna change this real quick and then I'll tell you. Okay, I do have one in Judge Intent now. I think it's smarter. So, again, very mind heavy in that everything is in logic, influence, and intuition.
Oh.
So I am definitely setting myself up for failing some physical checks, but that's okay.
You're an intellectual. It makes sense.
That's right. So
Also, just make up some robots or some shit to help you out.
exactly. I like build
Sure.
shit that makes my physical laboring easier, so
Exactly.
checks out. Okay. Tech use. I am a master rank, meaning 2.
Nice.
1 in investigate, 1 in security. Moving over to the influence section, 1 in negotiate. And then over to intuition, I have 1 in awareness, judge intent, and artisanship.
All right.
I currently, and I still might switch this, is I've got 1 in poise. I've got 3 in dodge.
Whoa.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I might
Going
switch
for
that
it.
though. I might put that 2 in poise.
If you keep that in the dodge that high, I believe there are skills in the Strider, which if you dodge as your reaction essentially, and you do it successfully, you can string those together and dodge and move and do some other fun stuff.
Yeah, and I am pretty agility heavy with an 8.
Dodge, duck,
so
dip, dive, and dodge.
I think I will be looking at some Strider dip anyway. So, yeah, I do seem kind of, I think it would be pretty good. But
Strider!
I'm also debating moving it over to athletics, which I don't have any skills for though. But athletics feels like it would be good.
If you are already pretty good at the stat, there's no reason that you would have to worry about the skill being super high.
Yeah.
So you can transfer it over and feel secure in your ability to not die.
Actually, I think, given my character's situation, Ollie, what do you feel is more fitting? Athletics or labor?
So Shin was once a military man, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a field worker. He wasn't a factory worker. So I think athletics makes more sense. I think your body was built on not so much the battlefield maybe, but definitely the training field.
Yeah, so let's move that 3 in dodge then to be a 3 in athletics.
Wait, you're still doing 3?
Yep.
Going all in. All right.
All right.
All in. I'm really athletic, guys.
David's never going to fail an athletics check.
You might still roll
Shin's
3
never gonna
3s.
fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
3 1, sorry. And
Oh, that's
so-
true. That's true.
and he only
Alright,
has
so-
1 in it.
That's true.
I've got 1 in poise, 3 in athletics, 2 in awareness, 1 in artisanship for his bonsai trees that he takes care of.
Aw.
And then that's the whole reason I put that 1 point in there. If it wasn't for flavor, I wouldn't have done it, but I have to do it for flavor.
If you want, I'm gonna offer this to you because there is a flavor skills section called lifestyle skills.
Yes. That's where the bonsai tree thing goes.
But you can still be an artisanship.
I'm still doing 1 in artisanship. It makes sense for him.
So hold on.
And
For
then last in
athletics,
intimidation.
you're spending 6 skill ranks in athletics. You know that, right? 6 of your 9.
I thought it was just 3 of my 9.
No, it's weighted.
Oh, this one's the weighted one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Never mind then.
That's why we were like, whoa.
Okay. In that case, poise,
So,
athletics.
And yeah, you said you had 2 in a couple. That
I had
means
2
you're
in
spending
awareness and 2
3
in
ranks
intimidation.
total on each of those.
Okay, I'll stick with that though. So I do want those to be good. So that's gonna be 3 there. Then I got 1.
I like this idea of Shin being, since strength is so low, he's very like gaunt. He's very string bean, or not string bean, but like that sort of sinewy musculature.
Yeah.
But then he goes,
Send you,
yes.
I'll send you later like a character kind of like inspiration of what he would look like if he had like full body.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, that just sounds cool because then he's just gonna be like, but also watch me long jump, bitch.
Okay, so 1 in poise, 1 in athletics, 2 in awareness, 1 in artisanship, and 2 in intimidation. That evens out to 9, right?
I think so.
Sounds
Poise
good.
1,
We'll
athletics
double-check it
1,
later.
awareness 2, artisanship 1, intimidation 2.
That's 10, I think.
Yeah. We can
Take away the artisanship one, David, because you can
Yeah.
you can do bonsai tree grooming in your lifestyle skills, if that's the only thing you want it for.
2. But if awareness and intimidation, so awareness and intimidation are both 2.
So
right?
that each one of those is 3 points.
Each one of those is 3. That's 6 of the points.
6.
Right? I put 1 in poise. That's not weighted. That's just 1.
Correct.
Yep. So that's
7
7 total.
1 in athletics.
8.
That's not weighted. That's 8. 1 in artisanship. That's 9.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
You guys
We
can't
were wrong,
count.
Ollie.
It's hard to count when someone's just saying words and you're like, that's this number. That equals this.
I know. I'm a visual
I'm
learner.
good.
You're good. You mathed right. All right. Pick a fucking combat skill.
Okay.
Cool.
Are these weighted?
Yes, they work
Okay.
exactly the same. I just separated them in terms of initial unallocated points.
Okay.
So essentially, it's as if you had a total of 12 unallocated points at the beginning, except 3 of them had to be dedicated to combat.
Got it.
Where
Got it.
the hell is the combat skill?
On the
They're
right-hand
right
side.
on the front of the character sheet on the right-hand side. They say combat. Combat casting, arms combat.
Oh, there it
and
is, yeah.
martial combat.
There we go.
Underneath the naming of them is the stats that they connect to.
Need to be.
So how do these things function?
They function exactly the same as any other skill, but they are connected to either of the 2 stats that are listed below them in them. So in combat casting, it denotes that intuition or logic can be used. So when you roll a combat an attack that is
Okay.
magical, let's say you summon I don't know, a flaming hedgehog that attacks something, and you roll for that. You have 1 point in it, so you roll 1d4 plus your usual 10, and you add that to either intuition or logic. You can pick your higher, obviously. It just depends on what kind of person you are. Are you a person that does magic from the gut? Are you a person that goes, all right, so I'm collecting these molecules and I'm initiating this
Calculating.
process?
Yeah, I gotcha. So theoretically, well, I mean, logistically, we only have 2 options here. We can either put 2 in one, or we can put 1 in each
Yes.
because of the way it's weighted. Okay.
So you can be kind of
Are
all
you-
right or pretty good.
And
okay.
I just gotta check. You're probably gonna go very heavy into casting, right? Combat
Yeah.
casting. Okay. So I want to try to kind of even you out here, so we're not overlapping too much.
Okay.
And then for guns and rifles and stuff like that, that's arms combat or martial?
That is arms combat. Martial
That's
is melee weapons.
Okay. All right.
Arms combat is intuition and agility, because having a steady hand is important, but so is just kind of getting a read on how far something is and taking a guess.
Makes sense.
Ollie, I might rebuild to kind of match around Hannah a little bit. It won't take much. Okay, we're still pretty much the same. I'm just gonna swap, I think.
Oh, David, I was also going to give you something special.
No, I'm pretty much done. Like, all I did is I swapped.
No, when
my
we get to the
logic-
spells.
Oh, when we get the spells? Okay.
I'm gonna
Well,
give you
I'm
something
good to
special.
continue. I'm good to continue. He's definitely going
I'm
to go
good
from
too.
being more rifles to being more martial. He's
Okay.
going to be more of like a punchy in your face kind of cyborg.
That makes sense because you can use guns. Your body wants you to use guns. You are a gun, but you're like, no, I can't. So
I can't. I don't want to feed into this. Yeah.
I got punches in my heart.
So I'm gonna
Runs
jump
deep.
in, and that can still help me jump into agility. So I'm sitting on a 20 HP now, 5 MP, 9 VP still. Skills are the same.
What are your combat? What's your combat situation? You
My
said
combat situation. Remind me again. What are the amount that we've got to spend here?
Only 3, so you can either put
Only
1
3.
in everything or 2 in one of them.
2 in martial, 1 in arms.
no.
No.
You're not getting.
I'm not getting it. Sorry.
These are weighted just like the ranks. So if you want to put 2 in 1, that equals 3 points. Because you spend 2 points to get that second one in there.
Yeah, these are the exact same as the other skills. They're just separated because of the fact that they're connected to 2 different stats at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll still probably just go 1 martial, 1 arms then.
And then you have 1 more to.
Yeah, you can put it in. You can save it as an unallocated skill point. There's a slot for that at the left-hand side underneath your health, or you can just put it in combat casting and be kind of okay at all forms of fighting.
Nah, that's not him.
Ooh.
Okay.
Here's a question.
My intuition and logic are my worst things.
I think I probably already know the answer, but
So it's gonna be an unallocated.
Can we like if you're gonna save that 3rd combat point unallocated, can you allocate it to a skill instead of the combat section?
During level up, yes, but right now,
okay.
I should probably write that.
Sorry,
into
Ellie.
rules. You people are disgusting.
You're not wrong.
You're stuck with us.
Actually, he's not. So can you be nice to him?
We're the only ones who have. Well, maybe that's not true. Read your game manual.
You're the most fun ones. That's for sure.
Yeah, most fun ones.
Oh, now that's gonna go straight to her head.
I'll take that. That's a
So-
compliment.
As you should. But we're moving on now to the next section. This one, I've always thought should be the quickest and the easiest, but somehow every single time that I've done playtesting with a person who's created a character, this has taken the longest or been the part that people go, I'll figure it out later. Lifestyle skills. You pick 3, any 3. You already have them. Perfect. You pick
Actually,
3
I have
things.
7. I have to pick 3.
So some things already go on your lifestyle skills. Languages automatically go there. So as a human, you have a couple languages already available to you, and as of Anara, you also have a couple languages available to you.
Gotcha.
And they just kind of show up. You get 3 more lifestyle skills, and lifestyle skills for the audience are just hobbies and careers that you've had in the past that you now have sort of an intimate knowledge of. Any field of study, maybe you're a botanist, a microbiologist, whatever. And there's not a specific, you don't get like skill points for these. These are things you've studied, so you get advantage, which is just 1d4. But if you can stack advantages, you can have a fuckload of d4s.
True. Luckily, I brought a fuckload of d4s.
Hell yeah.
Just so
Is there-
happens.
D10 and D4
I'm sorry.
heavy.
Run me through the number of lifestyle skills I get.
So, for you're human, right?
Yes, sir.
So, a couple things you get automatically because you are of human ancestry. You get 2 languages. You get 3 languages. I'm sorry. You
That's
get
right.
GAC, which is
Gak.
yes, GAC. Which I forgot what the acronym was even for, but I think it's like
Wait. I got
generally amalgamated communications or something.
Oh, with a C.
this.
There, I know I wrote it down somewhere,
Where
but I
is it?
didn't repeat it.
Okay, so I get GAC. So I get 3 languages.
Yes, the first language is GAC. The second language that you get is Mikano, Mikano, which is sign language used amongst all of the different humans throughout the generations.
I speak that one.
Perfect.
Me too.
Oh my God.
And the last language you get is Encanto, which is the oldest living language currently, and it is essentially a language that attempted to turn magic script into words. It is not accurate. It is not a thing that is like linguistically useful for making detailed paragraphs. It is a thing that denotes feeling and thought.
Kind of like ruins.
Yes, but verbalized.
But
It's
verbal.
like Fae, but language.
Yes.
Dude, oh man, I have a character idea for if this guy if Shin dies.
All right.
Also, globally aggregated communications.
Perfect.
GAC.
I love dumb acronyms. I have a lot of them.
What was the
And
second
they-
word? Globally what?
Aggregated
Oh, of course it was.
communications.
Aggregated.
This is Mikano for communications.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
I missed it because I actually have your screen covered. Can you do it again?
Rude.
Communications.
Oh.
Okay.
So yeah, you get those three, and then you get make up 3 hobbies, 3 fields of study, 3 whatever, and just throw them on in. You want it to be a bonsai tree decorator or whatever.
What does it mean mechanically? Like if we do we roll a check?
Yes, it just means, hey, I am good at this thing. Can I have advantage? Yes, you can.
Okay.
Here's an extra D4. And if at any point you think you can weasel it in there, do it.
I will be weaseling.
So I'm gonna say bonsai tree.
You can go for herbalist or botany if you want to broaden out a little bit,
Yeah, it's true.
or just gardening.
Yeah, let's do
Is-
gardening. Gardening.
Is the word tinkering too vague?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay.
Can you go with like maybe in a field of study like mechanical engineering? Or-
That's also on my list, so I'll just choose that one. Mechanical
Okay.
engineering. We're gonna go bird watching.
perfect.
I know a
You're the-
lot of
you're the
bird
second-
species.
You're the second bird watcher. When I play tested this with my lovely
Really?
wife, she also put bird watching as one of her
Jazz.
lifestyle skills.
Oh my god. My last one is the great ancient game of euchre.
Perfect. God, you're so Michigan.
Hey, now, careful.
We don't live in Michigan anymore.
Whoops.
Gardening.
Mhm.
I think he's gonna know weapons pretty well, actually. So, like weapons. I mean, I don't know if it'll be. Is it too broad to say like all weapons, or would you like me to specialize ranged or martial?
How about you specialize the kind of weapons knowledge, like weapon construction, weapon usage, weapon dismantling? I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
be nerdy and go with weapons history.
All right, let's do it.
Fun fact.
He can tell you about the origin of like the katana and shit like that.
I like that. I like
Or
that.
I mean, if there's katanas in this world, and if they, you know,
When you-
came
when
from
you,
someplace.
When you find a decapitated body, you can be like, all right, what kind of serrated edge is this?
Yeah, it's like this was a serrated edge or something. At least a serrated edge, but
At
yes.
the very least.
That would be
So-
like investigate
Yeah,
So
and then
I'm
you
gonna
can,
say
and then you can be like,
advantage for being.
for your
Weapons.
skills.
Yeah.
So weapons history.
So the idea is that you'll be able to stack pretty heavily for a lot of things, because while most things are average, you guys are going to be investigating some pretty niche shit. So
So
there's going to be some hard checks.
So
the other thing I want to
mechan-
mention too,
Yeah.
is like just my last skill. I think we didn't do like a content warning at the start of the episode, but
Oh god.
I was hoping that
alcohol
with
and drug
it-
use.
okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Drug
Stoner?
aficionado.
Or,
Yeah, stoner.
Yeah.
He
I'm
knows
down to call him
every
just a stoner.
strain can
Oh, yeah, you-
identify just by taking a whiff.
How about no? What are they called now? Growers.
Growers.
There's a respectable industry now, so.
Yep. Now that the white man's involved. My bad.
No, that works. That's fine with me. I don't care. I'm not white.
No white men here.
Yeah.
Look,
You're good company, man.
All I'm saying is there's a lot of black men in prison for having done the exact same thing and made less money.
Preach.
Boom.
But anyways,
we just got political.
oh,
I think that's gonna happen once or twice.
This campaign is a murder mystery political intrigue. So you best fucking believe it's gonna get weird.
No, I was gonna say it's called Murders and Monarchs.
It's gone down.
Dude, if I don't get to, never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Good choice. Good choice.
Pop myself.
Probably
Let's
good
just
choice.
record it. Let's just edit this part out.
Okay, straight up though, I feel like
Oh, no.
mechanical engineering is still pretty broad. And I'm okay with it if you are, but
Dude,
I could
material science, let's
definitely
make your
argue.
This part, I wanted it to be more of a discussion between the DM and the players.
Okay.
And if the players can convince the DM of a dumbass mistake that they're going to make in the future, I think that's perfectly valid. I'm going to go with, this is my burden to bear.
Okay.
So, mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. We're gonna go with it. Anything involving gears and
Years.
other mechanical words.
So this is a weird thing. Can one of his skills be that he can like get high and then be functional, or like?
I think
That's
that
called functioning addict. It's not a skill, David.
No, it's a character concept, Hannah.
I think that with your stoner lifestyle skill, it implies that while intoxicated, while normally I would give you disadvantage for most coordination-based things, you'll be even.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it because it's gonna happen, and I'll find other ways to make as we go. Maybe I'll blend in with a group of stoners or something. We'll see what the hell happens.
You'll figure it out.
And then I'll teach them all about swords while we trim my bonsai tree. This
God,
character
you're a
is just
weeb.
lost.
You are
just a
Yeah,
lot
he
of
is a weeb.
things.
I am a weeb.
There's so many things, David.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's move on to the next section. Let's see here. I lost my place in my own PDF.
That is actually a very significant component of his
Where
lifestyle,
are
so.
we? Okay.
We are in the fun part, my friends.
Ooh.
Select your spells. But first,
Oh my god.
there's more.
Word from our sponsors.
No. Oh,
Hey, if you want to sponsor us, please DM us.
I am a
Advertisement
cheap
here.
whore, believe you me.
Oh my god.
So anyways, the first things first. You have to decide what kind of grimoire you want to have. So there's the traditionalist, which is just every person that graduates high school, they get given a fucking chonky book, and they can write in that chonky book, or they can hire someone who's better at making spells to write in that chonky book and give them spells. Or you can get a digigrim, which is essentially just an app that works like a grimoire, except it stores less and you can learn less of them per level because someone has to program it in. And that's hard. It's 2 levels of complication. But the digigrim has the benefit of not requiring you to have it out. You can use it Bluetooth. You can use it while in your pocket. You can use it on the side. The traditional grimoire, you have to have it out. You have to have it open. It doesn't have to be to a specific page or whatever, but you have to have it there. Which, if you don't have it ready, it requires a minor action to get it out, that sort of thing. Plus, you will need like a hand to hold it. Hannah, you don't give a fuck. You have a tail.
That's right.
You can just hold your grimoire in your tail and no one's going to care.
Tails for the win.
So in that case, do you want to take the physical and let me take the digigrim? Because I think that's a really
Yeah.
good match.
I think so.
Okay. So I
'Cause
think
I was-
that's, yeah.
I was initially thinking digigrim just for the concept of my character, but this makes more sense. And I can still argue it, she is
Yeah.
Nope, I can't. Can't do it.
Look,
Can't do it. But
listen,
I'm
just
still
because
gonna
you
do it.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut. Insert something that makes me sound smart. Let's move on.
Oh yeah, I'll insert the quadratic equation or something.
No, yeah, I think it makes sense though for the game.
Yeah, just because you lean heavily on technology doesn't mean that you don't read a fucking book.
Read a fucking book.
There's manuals. There's all sorts of things that you have to, look through and actually read to become the sort of mechanical engineer that you are.
There it is. We just
David,
connected the dots.
Shin is a big old dummy, and you read on your phone.
Yeah. Well, no, because I was thinking, cyborg.
Right. Oh, did you want to integrate that into your stuff?
Yeah.
You want a charging port for your phone in your leg?
Oh, he definitely needs a charging port. Like, how about, hear me out. There's a section of his chest that's missing, or even better, no, there's like a disk drive that's phone size that he can just like plug it in under his heart. Just slides in. And
Sounds good to me.
USB ports right in.
For any listeners out there, you definitely don't know me, but my motto as a DM is, okay. And I'm going to stick by that for as long as I can. So yeah.
I love it.
Sweet. And I would say, I think to keep it fair, since he's going to be able to get access to his stuff pretty quick then, we could put another role on him to even just use those things. Like if he wants to use his spells. I will say he's probably just now kind of with this new kind of concept for him, he's not going to be using as many spells as I originally was. I'm going to rethink my spells too.
How's this? Let me add something more. And I'll write this down so I'm remembering that I'm adding a mechanic to this.
Sure.
We also have it on video.
You also have it on video?
Oh yeah. It's in the record.
Fucking reminding me that we're recording. I did forget for a moment. So, Digigrims, they're a common thing. Everyone can have one because it's just a phone app. Between grimoires, we can also buy a fancier grimoire if you want. But when you get a grimoire, when you get a Digigrim, whatever, you have to essentially attune to it. So you can only have one at a time. That being said, each one has some, benefits and some detriments or whatever. The ones you guys have are very standard, just box standard. You get what you get. You use your spell, you're done. I'm going to say, when you integrate, when you put it inside of you, you can add an effect, and I'll let you pick one of the other Digigrims.
Okay.
But when you use it that way, I'm gonna figure out the mechanics more specifically later. We're gonna do something, maybe add a roll to see if you get mana corruption or something along those lines.
Yeah. I think that's fair. That
but
works.
You can also just keep it in your pocket and use it like a regular grimoire.
Yeah, I'll play around with some stuff.
I mean, the more you use your shit, the more chances I get to fuck.
I know, and I think he's probably gonna use. Well, actually, I don't know. He's not very smart anymore, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. All right. So now that you have your grimoires chosen, you get to pick your spells. Pick out 2 spells plus however many spells your grimoire allows you to have per level. So for the physical grimoire, Hannah, you get 2 plus 3. So you get a total of 5 this level at character creation. David, you get 2 plus 1. The Digigrim, unfortunately, only gets 1 spell per level. Unless you pay for some, because you at level up, you can pay money to actually just buy more spells.
Gotcha.
But they are pricey. It's 100 gold per MP of the spell.
Ooh.
Also, gold is essentially a cryptocurrency that you keep on little digital cards.
Apple Pay.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. You can have it as part of your like phone app, or you can have like a more secured like card that you just touch the things and it'll pay that way.
Can I carry around a physical safe with my money in it? It's like 300 pounds.
So
I don't trust the banks.
The bank is just the card. Like if you lose it, you lose all of your money. There are no banks.
All right, I'll get a card.
I think I'm gonna just. There's what kind of spells are you going for, Hannah?
Alteration and creation.
Okay.
Oh yes, I forgot about this. We should ask.
Let's talk about it.
What spell schools are you guys going with? For the listeners, spell schools are just there's 4 genres, 4 types of spell in the world of Terra Magia, and you can mix and match those types to make very specific spells. And many spells are a multitude of those schools, but the 4 schools are annihilation, creation, divination, and alteration. Annihilation is the genuine scientific process that happens when matter meets antimatter. They destroy, they annihilate, they create pure energy. Creation is what it sounds like. You are Toph from Avatar. You can create form, you can mold. Divination is you connect with something. You link to it in various ways. Exactly. You can use your mana to just have a direct link to something, and it has a lot of different effects. Alteration is you can enhance something in very specific ways. You can make something stronger, you can make it weaker, you can change its properties whole cloth. So you said, Hannah, that Max is going to be an alteration specialist.
Alteration. Do I only get one?
Yes, at character creation you only get one. It's sort of the idea of that it's just something you're naturally better at. It's not like this is the only thing you're good at, but it's just, oh yeah, I've always been kind of good at understanding algebra. It just makes sense.
Got it. Okay.
But
and we can only pick spells that
you can pick any. No, you can pick any spell. What your spell school does for you is that if you match all of the spell schools of a particular spell, which is more likely to happen for spells that only have one spell school, obviously, you get a -3 MP reduction. Okay. Minimum of 1 MP though. So no matter what, it's going to cost at least 1.
Okay.
And if
sorry.
The other thing is that if you match at least half of the schools inside of that spell, you get a -2 MP reduction.
Okay.
So for big spells that include all of the different spell schools, because some of them do, it's hard to meet those requirements, but it's possible. In the free-for-all perks, one of them is to expand your school of magic and add another one.
Right. Expanded study?
Yep.
That was one that I wrote down. Let me make it that.
I am looking at pure annihilation.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't see anything other than annihilation really being what's going to be good for him.
I feel like once you go into the military, they put that mindset into you. They train you to be touch this wall and it crumbles kind of person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think I was just kind of going through it, and it's like, yeah, this is pretty much everything I want.
Cool.
Under Dragon Rush is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at Raygon too. Raygon.
So do you want to know the joke about that?
Please.
So that is the name of the initial spirit gun from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh.
It was I think kanji based joke that the creator made, because the kanji I think just spells out like spirit gun or energy blast or whatever, but the words sound like ray gun, which is hilarious. I had to misspell it, but it is the same joke.
That's a nice little homage.
All right, I've already decided I'm going to take the expanded study perk.
All right, do it up. That will save you MP per usage. So
yes.
I don't think I'm going to take the expanded study perk.
I mean, it's a whole ass perk that could give you a lot of access to other things.
A whole ass perk.
Whole ass perk.
No,
punctuation matters.
For alteration perk, was it? Is that where that is?
It's a free for all.
Oh.
Perk.
I gotta check. I gotta go review those later.
At the end of the archetype perks section.
Ah. I'll have to review those. No, I went with.
So this means with expanded study, you gain 3 new fields of study, which can be either lifestyle skills or languages, and 1 new school of magic.
Yes.
So 1 new school of magic plus 3 new fields of study.
Yes, you are
Hell
a diligent
yes.
studier.
I hit the books and I just can't stop, you know? And then I
Stop,
stay
won't
up all
stop.
night, which doesn't exhaust me because I'm partial human. It's all working
Exactly.
together.
I do want one of these fields of study to be incredibly specific. I don't care what it's about, but I do want it to be weirdly, confusingly specific.
I can do that.
Awesome. That's just for me.
Okay. That's just for my own entertainment.
I want to work at it eventually, but...
Okay, I'll brainstorm that. Let me just put a note.
So we haven't actually picked out our perks yet, because obviously we're still doing magic, but that is going to be one of your perk slots for this
Correct.
creation. Cool.
Can I come back to magic after we do perks?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I kind of do perks. Pikes.
Pikes.
What
are your pikes?
People, let's talk about the porks.
Let's do some pikes.
Oh God.
I'm not good at accents. What am I doing?
It's okay. We're just playing.
Also, I'm gonna be switching my archetype overall. He's not gonna be marksman. I think I might go monk. I'll have to review some monk stuff.
Ooh, monk is an interesting class that I might have really made a mistake when I created them, but I'm gonna stick with that mistake.
That's
because
good. Yeah.
You could take a little bit of monk and a little bit of marksman. You know, you don't have to do it all in one.
I'm going full in.
Full
he's going
monk?
straight. Yeah, he's going straight from like snipery to now up front and personal.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we're evolving. I like
work
that.
that character out. So here's a little tip and trick for all of our listeners. If you take monk perks and some alteration perks to become a vampire, you can have complete control of mana by sucking it from people and turning it into VP and HP through your monk abilities and become a fucking murderer.
Dude.
Wait.
Vampire monk.
Can I do cyborgs get the ability to do this? Can I do this if it's from machines?
No. Well, we're going to talk about that. We can work that in as a level up perk for you specifically, because yours is a little different. Yours is a new thing, which I'm definitely going to add, because evil AI should be a possibility. But yeah, also lycanthropy and vampirism are STDs. That's just what they are.
I don't know how my
STDs,
character
huh?
got this. I'll have to
You can be
work out how my character got this.
You don't get it from bites?
Oh, you do. It's
Okay.
It is it's transferred through phlegmy fluids through viscous fluids. So a nice chonky bite with a little bit of blood contact, that'll get you there.
That'll do it.
But also, bodily fluids will get you there.
You know.
Bodily
Bodily
so
fluids.
I thought you were gonna. I mean, I'm just gonna fucking say it. I thought you were gonna say a chonky bite with a bit of semen on there.
Oh yeah. Just so you know, in this universe, vampires ejaculate through their teeth.
It just comes right out the fangs, just like
It's
venom.
at the fangs. That's disgusting. But we can talk about alteration perks later and the cultural significance that they have at a later time. So let's get your perks. You can pick at character creation 3 archetype perks, which include the free-for-all perks, and as many alteration perks as you want, so long as your MP can sustain it. Because alteration perks, they don't work like regular perks. The way they work is that you can take as many as you want, but each one has an MP cost, a permanent MP cost, because MP is generated from your body. Your mind dictates how many MP points you have, because it means that you are more efficient at using the MP in your body, but your body is what creates it. It is a biological process that turns the entropic energies of your body, of the heat that's lost during living, during breathing, during shitting, whatever, and turns that entropic heat and energy into mana. And then your brain and technical know-how and intuition allow you to make better use of that mana to turn the core energies of the universe, the magnetic forces, the nuclear forces, and allow you to alter atoms at a molecular level to create whatever the fuck you want. It's magic, yo.
It's magic, yo.
I started off with saying a lot of good things and I ended with it's magic, yo.
It really just evolved into something amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing monologue. We'll make that a clip and we'll just release it as a clip.
Sounds good. But yes, when you alter your body, when you do an alteration, you lose a certain chunk of your MP.
Okay. So
I'm gonna say
makes sense.
Yes, David, your character.
My character has prosthetic limbs.
Exactly.
I've got two.
I understand, but we're gonna say that it's just it's one piece for the sake of this particular thing, because like I said, it's a very unique one. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's all one large prosthetic. Like you said, some of it goes into your ribs even. This is a RoboCop situation. Also, I don't have it in this version right now because this version just has the prosthetic limbs and eyes and a couple other things. But there's also a combat or a tactical wheelchair that I have in a draft version on my computer still, which lets you pull some levers to elevate to sit up, essentially, like the chair raises, it drops. You can raise it and then pull a different lever to pull the wheels up so that you can essentially jump, things like that.
Oh, sweet.
In case your prosthetic legs ever get EMP'd or whatever.
Okay.
You need some combat proficient wheelchair abilities.
In case you get EMP'd, he says.
Also, like
just in case.
Prosthetics are expensive. There's some countries that have very bad health insurance, like America. So like maybe you don't have the money for it.
That's true. All right, so let's see here. So my MP, so prosthetic limbs
but
has
also,
a cost of 2.
You have a mechanical engineer in your company, so.
You do have a mechanical. Okay, so I have prosthetics as a 2. My MP is a 5.
Total?
Right? Total.
So
I got
you're gonna
1 in logic, 1 in intuition, 3 in influence. So 5.
Yeah, that's total of 5. So you're gonna go down to 3 total MP. So you're gonna maybe get 1 to 2 spells if you're smart about what school you pick, at least for the first couple levels.
Yeah, I think that's fine with me.
Okay.
Total MP.
But this limb that you have does come with a built-in spell that you can summon whatever weapon you desire. From your hand, you can get single-handed weapons. From your knee, you can summon 2-handed weapons. And from your chest, you can summon a grenade.
Yes.
And cool. That is a little overpowered because you can just summon weapons. But remember, every time you use it.
I am down if we want. I mean, I don't know what the cost of stuff of that is going to be in combat and stuff, but I'm down to say the prosthetic limbs with that on there. And then it looks like modder is 0. So can I take all of those things even though they're 0, like the sub ones?
The ones that say 0 essentially mean that you can connect. As long as you have the one above it, you can take one of those. I believe for the prosthetic limbs, and I'd have to search again just to make sure.
It's page 162, if that helps.
Why did I make so many pages?
So I'm down to bump that up to a cost of 3, since I'm getting extra stuff. Because barely feel it might come in handy with a grenade.
Oh my god, elemental body.
Oh, have you not read that one yet?
I am now, and I am loving it.
Check out Ancestral Transformation.
Oh, yeah.
You
That was
might
another
be
one I wrote down. So I
interested in
noticed
that.
that Venara wasn't on here.
Oh, did I never add them back in? I revamped what they were because
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it.
Okay. Because I saw
uh,
Goblin and then the other three races. I don't know if Goblin was supposed to be Venara or something.
that was the original name for Banara.
Oh, gotcha.
I changed that.
And
Yes.
In Modder, the part where it says you fit 2 additional augments onto any prosthetic limb, which augments are we talking about here?
So in the items or in the shop section, which I think is in the 200s or something, there's a section for augments or mods that just are like a rechargeable battery for any gun that uses a battery. And whenever you move X many spaces or whatever, you recharge the battery by kinetic motion. There are some other mods, like one of them is just, do you have a weapon built into your arm? You don't need that. Let's see.
I'm just thinking which of the prosthetic limbs things I should consider. Do any of my prosthetic powers with the guns, knee, and grenade and stuff, do those require a cooldown?
The ones, I think that would be mod specific,
Okay.
which would provide abilities. I don't see any here that I have currently that require a cooldown. I think I did intend for some to do that, but not right now. But some of the mods available are an integrated flashlight, solar charger, integrated weapons, battery packs, a springing shield.
Integrated weapons, it sounds like that's already kind of in, so I'm going to just go ahead and write that down.
A grappling hand, so you can shoot your hand out like a grappling hook. Rocket fist, same idea, but there's no rope, and you punch from far away.
Are these listed somewhere in the manual?
Yep. Page 192 or 201 in the PDF.
Okay, because I wanted to talk to you about like tinkering some mods onto his prosthetic limbs.
Hell yeah.
I might, and like how the cost would change if I did it myself.
Okay, yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
Maybe one that you might be interested in, David, would be like MP Siphon, where you can suck MP out of people.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I also
That's
like
a cool one for you.
Cyclone V3. It's very Moroku from Inuyasha.
Yes, that was the idea. I'm a fucking nerd, people. How you doing? Oh boy.
Let's see. So mod slots. How many mod slots do I have by default?
Let's go with the what prosthetic are we pretending that you have here? Let's go with
Strikelin, or whichever one.
I'm thinking we're gonna go with reinforced in terms of stats wise. Sure. Not whatever ability that is. You get, the ability we discussed.
Yeah.
But it's military made. It's industrial. You wear, which last time we talked, you said that you wanted your character to wear like sweatsuit style things to kind of cover up the stuff that you can also snap your pants off and.
Oh yeah, he has like snap pants and.
Just full sweatsuits. I'm gonna draw your character. He's gonna be horrendous and beautiful.
He should look like a bum. Like a dude in sweatpants. Like he should have like baggy sweatpants and like a hoodie.
One coffee stain.
Gaunt and lean. Yeah, definitely coffee stained. He sleeps in that hoodie most nights. I'm basically cosplaying right now, dude.
all right. But yeah, just use the stats for the reinforced limb.
Reinforced, got it.
So that's 2 mod slots, which is not a whole lot, but you get a lot of functionality from your personal limb. Plus, it itself is a 1d6 weapon because it's a chunk of metal that you can beat someone with.
Could I argue for a third mod slot in that he has a friend who is very curious about his prosthetic limb and constantly wants to tinker with it and enhance it for him.
Can I argue that yes, but only if you do that in game?
Okay.
All right.
I will do that.
I'm always down as long as we can work it in.
Hell yeah.
All right.
It's like 2 mod slots. So integrated weapons. Sorry.
Did you guys also pick your archetype perks?
I have 2. Need to pick one more. I'm totally taking shark repellent. This is a good one.
It is very strong.
Yep. No sharks are coming your way.
Hell no.
An apple a day
Keeps the sharks away.
Definitely.
Let's see. All right, yes, I'm going to go with integrated weapons and MP siphon. I think MP siphon just makes the most sense for him, and his MP is 3, so that's perfect. I can reach right up to my MP. So now
you're going to want to be careful with the mana corruption that can apply to you.
Just another way for you to.
Yes, indeed. For anyone who hasn't read that section, there's a thing in the game called afflictions, ailments. There we go. I forgot what I named my own mechanic. There's a mechanic called ailments. Essentially, they're just bad status effects that stack up like tally marks until they reach a certain point, and then you get another tier of horrible effects, and that goes from first, second, and third tier bad effects, super bad, pretty bad effects to super bad effects. And mana corruption essentially makes it difficult to have and use mana if you get too corrupted. David, I forgot to mention during the spell section, since you moved along because you weren't sure what to pick.
Yes.
I wanted to give you a very special ability.
Oh. Lay it on me.
Your character's background is that he was a part of a group called the Monster Security Network, otherwise known as MSN, and they use a very particular kind of ability to repel monstrosities.
They're going to say sharks.
Repel sharks.
Wait, I have a shark repellent already.
In this world, in this particular setting, they use this ability on a conduit known as the Silent Tower, and it transmits that same energy across the whole state, across the whole city-state, repelling monsters, keeping it safe from those monstrosities, because there is no natural repellent, because you guys do not live near a Titan. So that ability is not a traditional magical ability. It is a entropic magic. It is one that bypasses the conversion of entropy into mana, and by using that entropy directly and not converting it, it causes mana corruption in you.
Yes. Okay.
But when you use it, depending on how much mana you put into it, if you come face to face with the monstrosity, you can just repel it. You can just say leave, and it will flee from you.
Hell yeah. What's the name of the ability?
I wrote it down in my little flippy book of infinite random notes. So give me a minute. Oh, entropic repel.
Entropic repel.
Words I already said.
Yeah, that was in the explanation.
The answer was in the explanation. Classic.
I typically have a pretty simplistic naming structure, so I should have just.
Count? Does Entropic Repel count against my Digigrim's 2
No,
plus
it
1?
is. It is a trained thing you learned from your time at this business.
Fantastic. All right.
So
I'll hop back up the spells and just double check.
Where's the... Okay. I am going to choose a witch perk.
Nice.
I really would love to have a bird that's like a cockatoo.
Do you want it to be a real bird or a little robot bird?
So I was thinking it's a real bird, but
A cyborg?
Yes! It like lost a wing or something in a terrible bird accident, and then I nursed it back to health and tinkered a little wing onto it, and then it can fly again, and that's my familiar.
Perfect.
Wing tinkerer.
Also, a terrible
A
bird
winker.
accident is called the Windex.
Correct. I'm a witch. Burn me.
I'm a witch.
I'm a witch, Harry. I'm a what?
I'm a what?
I'm a what?
I'm a
Okay, so I
what?
only have 3 MP. Which... Oh, I can't take Aurora Wave anymore. Damn it!
Okay. So hard to choose things. Everything is so cool.
I'm glad you like it. I created a lot for one person, and I never was sure which ones were gonna hit or not. I've created pretty much all of it just kind of on my lonesome and was making shit up.
No, it's great. It's so great that I cannot choose.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna go with Radiance Blast.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a cool one.
what does that do?
Light flutters towards you like malicious fireflies, collecting into a single point, seemingly as bright as the sun. And while this spell is silent, any within line of sight notices you as the light collects. 46 radiation damage. Casting time of instant, range 24 meters. MP cost 3.
Nice. Did I write that or did you make that up?
Oh, you wrote that.
Hell yeah!
I did a thing.
Wait, I can make up my spell?
No, well, yes. I just don't have it available to you yet.
Okay.
There is a spell crafting mechanic in the game that I have to put into the index. It's just currently in a Word format, which is real ugly, and I'm trying to fix it. But in the next major update, probably.
Next patch.
The next patch of this physical digital game.
Dude, I love this. I love that I can say this is my MP3. That's a reference for you 90s kids.
My MP3 player.
my mini disc player.
My Walkman.
Wow.
Anna, did you ever have a cassette player?
I sure
I
did.
think I had like a hand-me-down cassette player from my mom, but it was definitely like a big deal when I got my first Walkman. That was the future.
Damn straight.
Duration instant. And spell requirements none. Perfect.
So, Hannah, you're ready in terms of you've got your perks and your spells, right?
I think. Oh, I did not. I've been doing perks this whole time, but I am done with my perks now.
Okay.
And my spells, I honestly think I know which ones I'm gonna choose.
All right. So for my Digigrim spell, since I get a 2+1 for a total of 3, I went with Radiance Blast, Stone Thrust, and Tormenting Grip.
Hell yeah. Sounds baller. Oh.
I am built to get in close if I need to. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of close quarters.
I sure won't be.
I know.
And obviously, I don't think any of you can yet because of mana cap requirements. But there's a spell that I made up that does not actually fit the spell creator point buy that I go by for all of my other ones, because I just wanted it very badly to be in the game. It's called Domain, where you just declare this area is your own, and then you can create rules for that area that everyone has to follow.
Hell yeah.
Including yourself.
That's like that drinking game.
Yes.
Like my workshop can be my domain?
Sort of. You can cast it anywhere, and then the domain will appear. You can change the terrain, you can change the environment, you can change the climate and the temperature, everything.
I remember reading that now. Yeah. Let me get back.
And then you create a couple of rules, and those rules must be followed. For example, one of the rules can be we fight as if it was a chess game. Everyone must move like a chess piece, and you pick your chess piece and go.
So also for spells, we can only choose a spell with that's at or below our MP cap, taken into consideration the school
Yes.
spell school modifiers.
Well, you can take any level, any MP spell. It's just if you go beyond your MP cap, you start accruing a what's that called when something is bad as a response to something happening? Consequence. There we go.
I got you.
Getting late, you guys.
You get a consequence if you cast above your MP cost.
Oh, okay.
I have to look up into the rule book, back into these like single digit pages of Magic to see exactly what that is, but I believe that for every MP above your MP cap, you take some sort of penalty or some sort of damage. Let me see. For each MP above the character's cap, they must roll a 1d20 of radiation damage.
Okay.
So your MP caps as level 1 characters is 1. Sorry, 3. My bad.
3. Okay.
So if you roll anything that costs 4 MP, you roll 1d20 and take whatever damage comes up.
Got it.
Yeah, not to double back too much, back with alteration perks. For the prosthetic limbs, just remind me, so these are all 0 as like subcategories, so I can have all of these?
No, you can, the subcategories, I think I wrote in there somewhere that you have, well, once you pick one, once you get one, you can pick another one for free, but then subsequent ones that are free, you have to use a perk slot for.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to cost you more MP, but it is going to take up training, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. So then I think for my one then, if I go with Modder,
so while we're finishing up, those last little bits of your characters, since you're currently picking out some alteration perks and other whatnot.
Oh, no, barely feel it.
Barely feel it. Good choice. Let me explain a little bit about alteration perks. So a lot of alteration perks are big changes to your body. They are anything from prosthetics to limbs that are literally tentacles. You can have a head that's a bird. You can have all sorts of conventionally strange limbs and chunks and pieces and whatever else. This is linked to something lore-wise, game-wise, to hundreds and hundreds of years ago during a period of war in the world. This isn't like World War I or II. This is just a constant global war between many factions. This was when the different ancestries first met across the 4 major regions of the world and realized there are other things on this earth other than us. And that realization led to a lot of war, which led to a lot of pretty awful things. One of which is genetic tampering with magic. And that genetic tampering led to these alteration perks. They are just kind of little surprises that sometimes you have a kid and they come out with, I don't know, a crab claw.
A third nipple.
That's one of the better ones.
Ollie, so would it be crazy if I decided
Yes.
to...
If you want to be absolutely wild, do it. It just will cost you MP.
Okay. Well, there goes the rest of my MP.
Dear God.
What are you doing?
I want to take arachnid faculties, but I want to
I knew you were gonna like that one.
I want to can I reskin it so that's like my cyber stuff is doing this whole thing?
Sure. Yeah. Always.
Just to kind of it still functions the exact same. Just it's the
let's change it to cyber systems. Your cybernetic network is integrated into your nervous system, allowing you to pick up on the minutest electrical signals in the air, as density, as the pressure of the air changes. Sensors linked to your nervous system immediately take off.
Perfect. Then I'm going to take Modder as well, instead of Barely Feel It.
Dear God. So you have effectively a level 1 no MP.
Yep, no MP. My total MP is 0.
I think you get another boost of MP at level 3. So if you
I'll be
want
there
it,
one day.
Or you can take the HP and still have 0 MP.
No. I mean, we'll see how things go out. Hannah's the caster. My character's like almost gonna be like a barbarian, really. So we said, I'm sorry, what did we
keeps evolving.
What did we say we were calling this ability now? Or this
cyber well, fuck, I just said it. I see, this is my problem. I don't think very hard. I think and then I make a decision and then I forget to write it down.
Good thing we're recording. We can always go back and check it out.
Cybernetic systems is, I think, what I called it.
Okay.
But I will double check once I check the recording.
Okay, cybernetic systems. Okay.
All right. So I think that is your characters.
Ah! Goal?
So yeah, congratulations! You make your first characters.
I'm actually still not done. But yes,
David.
Pretty much.
No, I'm not. I haven't chosen all my spells either, but that's okay. We don't have to do that.
Well, my spells don't matter now because I don't have any MP.
Yeah, what the fuck do you care about spells?
Yeah, what are spells?
You're just an ability punchy man.
Yeah, pretty much actually.
Do we have to talk about gold and equipment at all?
No, this is a very special situation. You are owners of a business that is a detective agency.
We're small business owners.
Exactly. And I actually wrote down, I'm going to see if I can bring this up real quick. Not there. Where in the Google Drive are you? Items list. So you have certain starting detective tools in the Monarchs and Murderers campaign. You have 3 spectral flashlights. They are flashlights that allow you to switch through all ranges of light, visible and non-visible. Be careful with the X-ray, it will still give you cancer. So will gamma, actually. Just be careful. Don't point it at people.
Got it.
The ARPP goggles, augmented reality goggles with predictive projection VI, that allows you to see projections of whatever might have left an impression, calculate and simulate scenes with predictive physics interaction of 3D rendered items, such as what you create from those impressions. And you can even gather some fingerprints if you can spot them out. You can also be used in battle to calculate the probability of certain attacks, allowing you to take a minor action to make that calculation and gain a +1 to dodge or such things.
Okay.
You only have one of these. It is currently a little busted. You cannot use it during battle right now, but you can repair it for 500 gold.
Or with my own two hands.
Yes, I am creating this as a possible campaign that I'm going to package to send out to the world. But if you're a tinkerer, I mean, tinker's gonna tinkle. No? Tinker's gonna tinkle.
Well, we do tinkle. Everybody tinkles.
Everybody
we tinker.
Exactly.
Sometimes we tinkle while we're tinkering if it's late night and we're just...
If you're smart, you tinker something to tinker while you tinker.
We need to stop saying those words now.
It's gone too far.
We have used them too many.
We found the line.
Can you name your bird Tinkle?
We crossed it. No, the bird's name is Jello, actually.
Oh, I forgot to mention, you took that witch perk, correct?
Correct.
So, as a witch with a familiar, that is the perk you chose, right?
Yes.
You get whatever ability that creature has as one of your familiar abilities. I believe that's what it says in the witch, right? You get to use its ability, or maybe that's a level 2. Either way, that's something that comes along the line. And even though it is a mechanically enhanced bird, it's still a bird. And let's see if I have the mini pocket bestiary in this section. I do in this version. Cool. Let's go to small beast. Hercules beetle, hummingbird.
Please be flying. Please be flying. It's a cockatoo, actually.
Yes, I only wrote so many animals, so I'm going with whatever the first bird was.
Wow, you didn't write in a cockatoo.
Okay, no, sorry. I have a crow as well.
Okay, let's do.
The crow can perfectly mimic the voice of anything it hears. With a successful logic check, it can even replay conversations.
Yeah, that works for cockatoo. So let's go with that.
Cool.
Oh my god! This is the actor feat that I took for my first go at Zira as a character, and I never used.
The way this works, you check with your archetype perk to make sure that I'm not skipping ahead to like tier 3 or something. Okay. But I believe that you can use your MP as if it was beast points and use its whatever its ability is. For the crow, that just costs 1 MP to use, and you can do that same thing. I think for the hummingbird, it was straight up teleportation.
Ah, shit! Should have gone with hummingbird.
The idea for hummingbird was that they're just so fast and they can just. Boop, boop,
they just fucking flit all over the place. No, I like the mimicry thing.
Perfect.
I can dig it.
All right, so yeah, I took integrated weapons and springing shields for my mods.
I love springing shields.
It's gonna be pretty juicy. That's pretty nice.
So those are your characters, and we're down to the last 2 things that I wanted to do for this get together. It is kind of late if you guys are willing to go for another 30 minutes.
I can do it. Yeah.
All right. So we're not going to decide 100% right now, but there is a leveling mechanic, obviously, and in the book itself, I mentioned there's a bunch of ways that you can level up. Honestly, leveling up, there is a certain amount of stuff you get per level and so on and so forth, but who cares? The fun part is the leveling up process, and it doesn't matter which one you use. I gave a couple examples of real granular growth. Every monster is an XP, every whatever is an XP. Sort of a faster pace one is just every time you meet, you level up once, every single time. Get going, level up fast.
Ooh. Yeah. That might be a little too fast.
Indeed. Some of the other ones were sort of like a mixed. Gosh, where is it? What page are you? Yeah, storied growth. Just your character has certain goals. They have a specific plot that they have to achieve. they have quests that they have to complete, and that's how they level up.
Yeah.
But then there's also one that I wanted to do with you guys specifically, which is a 3-pillared growth. Essentially, it's goal based as well, but you have 3 goals: one that you decide, one that I decide, and one that the table decides. And you have to achieve those 3 goals, and then you level up.
I like that.
So you guys might not be the same level once we get started.
Yeah, that's fine.
But for now, we're going to be the same level. And I don't know.
Wouldn't we still stay at the same level? Because in order to level, you have to complete something together.
No.
No,
you have don't. You have 3 goals. He has 3 goals. Bison has 3 goals.
Oh, we all choose our individual. Okay, never mind.
Yes.
I misinterpreted.
But yes, the 3 goals. What I was saying about togetherness is that you create 1 goal for yourself. I create 1 goal for you. And I said the table, but essentially in this case it's just David creates 1 goal for you. But you could also create 1 goal for David, and so on and so forth. I don't know what you guys want to be your own goals, but I know what I want to be your goals.
And do we get to assign goals for Bison?
Yes, of course.
Oh yeah.
You guys can deliberate on that. Actually, you guys can each give me 1, because I'm also the DM, and that would not be fair. So yes.
We each give you 1. I think that's good. Yeah. I like that.
But David,
I like that.
Yeah.
Your goal is to give into your arm. That's it. You just have to do that at least once. Okay. Also, your arm does have a personality. It's an AI. Okay. And that's going to be me. And I haven't decided on the voice yet.
We'll also come up with a name.
I'll come up with one.
If I do an Irish accent, then you can be Dublin.
My name is gonna be Dublin. Sounds good to me.
But I don't know if I'll do this one.
Hannah, your character, I want your goal to be to reach out to people in the Grove.
In the Grove?
Yes, the Grove is one of the factions and also a location inside of the city. It's a location that when we discussed during character background, chit-chatting, your grandmother has a connection to the Grove. She was an integral member for a long time.
Okay.
And even though she isn't as connected lately, she still is very important. You have been a member, you've been there, but you're not exactly connected. Your character, for them to level up, I want them to reach out to the Grove.
Okay.
See, the reason I like this leveling method is because I can make you do shit.
I do like it because it's like a little bit of what we want, a little bit of what you want.
My character's
leaves room to have fun.
I'm just gonna tell you now, man. Like, I don't know if he's gonna do it.
What do you mean? You never level then? Never level.
Level. We can always have
we'll see.
If you don't think you're gonna level, and you want to, open up a discourse about it, I'm always up to giving you.
No, I like it. I do.
It's also something that's kind of up to interpretation too.
I'm gonna let this be. I want it to be like a true character growth moment. One day he might, but it's gonna take a while before that comes along.
Okay. The idea for this isn't that they are huge goals. So we can revamp and maybe give you a 4th goal, and this can be like a larger one where maybe you get a little something extra as well. But we can.
Fine. No, I'm totally fine with it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I like the idea of like role playing into my level.
Hell yeah. Do you have any off the top ideas for what you want Bison to achieve before he levels up?
Bison.
I want him to forgive me.
Oh, Bison. That might be like
I'm
a higher
joking.
level goal.
Yeah. We'll get around to that.
Yeah.
I gotta think. Not off the top of my head. I wanted to.
That's fair. I understand.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we're done, now that you know what you're going to need to do more or less to level up, still deciding for each other later on, I have some questions for you, but more specifically for your characters. So Hannah and or Max.
Max.
Someone extremely close to you is gone, whether they were romantic, familial, or platonic. They are either dead or simply gone from your life. Maybe they and you didn't see eye to eye on something, and it was irreparable. You weren't able to fix the relationship. Who were they and why? Why did they leave? Or why are they dead? Also, for any listeners, I'm putting them on the spot and making them make shit up because this is fun for me.
This wasn't one of the ones that we answered before.
No, these are completely
I was going to say,
ones.
I forgot how I answered this. Okay, no, this is different.
The only thing related to this, I suppose, would be that I asked you if there's anyone you're close to in your other list of questions. You said your grandma, but you said you're close to her still.
Yes, so we're so close. We see pretty eye to eye. I'm gonna say.
You did mention that you are no longer that close to your sister.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go for. Okay. Actually, is I'm gonna say I have a sister who chose a very different lifestyle than I, and we're sort of estranged. There's been a handful of times in the past, decade, I would say, since we sort of really parted ways, that we have reached out to each other, but it's kind of only when we really need something. What was the rest of the question?
The question was just who was it that left and why? The answer so far is your sister, and because she picked a different lifestyle that you guys just couldn't mesh with, and distance happens.
Yeah. So I think that I, as Max, think that she left because she thought she was better than me. She chose this different lifestyle, which ideally in game we'll all learn a little more about.
Right. So that's what you think, and she thinks that the reason she left is because you look down on her. She doesn't think you approve of her in a way that's very demeaning to her. And she said this to you, and you've said your thing to her. You guys have argued this, and then it's just where it is.
Yep.
Hopefully we can, fix this horribly sad family dynamic. We'll see.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
So, next question. Do you want to move on to one question for David, or do you want to do all three of yours, or do you want to go back and forth?
Let's go back and forth.
All right. David.
Yeah.
You reached...
Sorry.
It's all right. You reached the place that very few ever do. You reached rock bottom. Where were you when this happened? What were you doing that got you there? And more importantly, what got you out?
I think rock bottom for Shin would have been probably after his brother died, and he's still like processing, the changes that's to his body and stuff like that. So he's going through that trauma, and at the same time he's got this pressure on him to now do something about Bison. Before he realized like just how together this kid is, there's just this insane pressure on him, and he goes into like probably a pretty dark depression, which is probably when the drugs start. Between that and like trying to like keep, the cyborg AI trying to take over his mind is one thing, but then life. So yeah, between the two of those, I think that's where he was probably rock bottom.
I think there's also something to be said about seeing this child that you are sort of responsible for. You don't technically have to be, but you are, because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. And I think if we're
But-
being totally honest too, like, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't know if he's like still like totally past rock bottom yet. I think he might still
That's
be
fair.
pretty close there.
We might still be approaching.
Sometimes you have to dig yourself out a few times, you know?
I think, yeah.
And just for, I mean, I know this is going to end up being common knowledge, but Bison is your nephew, yes? Did we say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think something about seeing a child who's gone through so much and he's only 10 years old and being so composed and so strangely grown up is kind of sad and also depressing internally in a way that's like, this child manages to survive in a way that I can't. This
Yeah.
child I'm supposed to take care of is growing up so fast because I can't let him be a child. And that definitely feels like it pulls
He's
down.
like, he feels that guilt for sure.
Hell yeah.
When he's not in like his opioid haze, definitely.
I love making character shit up. Oh.
Yeah, this is fun. This is my favorite part of this whole session so far.
I'm glad. All right. Speaking of, Hannah, when you were very young, you nearly died. In what was almost a tragic accident, but someone saved you. What was happening that nearly killed you, and who saved you?
So when I was a child, I grew up in a junkyard. My parents were collectors and sort of proprietors of the junkyard, and that's kind of where I lived. The junkyard was my playground. So there was an odd device there that we found. My sister and I found when we were young. I would say I was maybe 6 and she was 9 or 10. And we didn't really know what it was, but it kind of had this like pale blue glow to it. And we were like, this is interesting. This isn't junk. Like, let's check this out. So we started messing with it, and there were all these buttons and switches on it, and we weren't really sure what it was for. But my sister kept telling me, stop, this isn't a good idea. Let's bring it to mom and dad. Like, they'll tell us what it is. This might not be safe. And you know me, old Fast Fingers McGee. I flipped a switch and I got shocked really, really, really hard. Kind of pushed me back, and my sister thought I was dead for about 10 minutes. And then I came to, and my whole family was surrounding me. My parents were bawling their eyes out. They thought I was dead for a long time. And I woke up, and they got rid of the device, and we never saw it again. And yeah, from that point on, my sister didn't really play with me as much in the junkyard. That was kind of the beginning of sort of a separation.
All right. I like that. I think that's interesting. I asked if anyone had saved you, and I think no one having saved you is a good choice. I think your sister tried to. I think she was scared and frantic and doesn't, she's a tiny child. She doesn't understand CPR. She's just pounding on you, trying to get you to wake up until your family shows up and they, do the process. Your mother tries to do CPR and nothing seems to be working. It's just time that allows your heart, which I think you did die. I think you died for a moment, and by chance, maybe it was the CPR, maybe it was just fate. You woke back up.
Yeah, I don't really know if anyone saved me.
I don't think anyone did. I think everyone wanted to, everyone tried to, but no one could. You were just going to either survive or not. But I do like that this is the point, one of the points, probably the first one, where you and your sister start to drift as she starts to realize that, she starts to think in her 6-year-old mind that this, my older sister, you're only 9 years old. but to her, you are a much more powerful person than her already, and you don't listen to her. You don't consider what she's saying. She's literally begging you not to do a thing because she's afraid, and you do it anyways, and it causes this horrible thing. And this is the point where she starts to realize, starts to think, believe at least, that what she says, what she thinks, what she feels doesn't matter to you.
Yeah. I had it switched at first where I was the older and she was, or I was the younger and she was the older. No, but I like that better.
Okay.
I like that better because I think that, yeah, it's like she started to see me as like doing these dangerous things that scared her and she didn't understand them and she didn't know how to process them. So she just distanced herself from it.
Cool. I genuinely thought you said the opposite. My bad.
I may have, but in my head, I was thinking the other way around. But anyway, I like this better anyway, so.
All right, David.
No.
I'm trying not to make these disproportionately depressing for you.
That's fine.
All right.
Don't worry. Bring the fields.
What is something you keep secret? Something you keep so secret that you're even trying to hide it from yourself?
Something you keep secret. Something that shouldn't keep secret. He's even trying to hide from himself.
Maybe a truth about yourself that you don't want to admit.
Yeah, no, I know what it is.
You know what it is? Perfect. I love that.
I know what it is. Sometimes Shin just wants the cyborg to take over.
All right.
You know, sometimes he just kind of like wants to say like, fuck it all right, just do it. You know? So I think he's got like this darkness in him that he tries his best not to embrace, but then in like his moments of weakness, sometimes he just wonders like, would it really be that bad? maybe he wants it sometimes, you know? I think, and he definitely would never admit that to Bison, you know? So, is that.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
I
definitely.
love that.
That's definitely it.
I love this visual of Shin with the last question, you know, being at rock bottom and even dipping in there multiple times in his life. And in those points, that's when he just thinks to himself, maybe he even does summon a gun. And it's almost like this, you know, content warning, obviously, but suicidal imagery.
Yeah.
But it's not suicide. It's I'm creating this thing so that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to hurt myself or anything. Something else will take me.
It's like that. It's like a, you know, like a dramatic interpretation of that thing that we all feel, I think, where you just think it would be easier if someone just told you what to do all the time. Like, I don't want to make decisions anymore. I don't want to be responsible anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Just someone take over.
It's that I forgot what I talked to someone about this and made this metaphor of every once in a while I think everyone wants to be a sim.
Yeah.
Where you know someone's gonna take care of you, you know someone's gonna make sure you go to work, and you can just fast forward for a few days, for a few weeks, whatever you need.
Absolutely.
Fucking perfect. All right, Hannah, let's get something cheery going.
Whew, okay.
Don't worry, we're gonna end on something cheery for you too, David.
Oh, good.
Don't worry, we'll turn it into something bleak and depressing.
Yeah, don't worry. You want the fields? I got the fields, man. I'll bring it.
This is
actually, I'm rereading it, and it might be very horribly sad.
Oh no.
Let's hear it.
But no, Hannah first. What is your proudest achievement? What is a moment in your life that you did something that you realized I'm going in the right direction? Something that affirmed not only what you did in that moment, but who you are as a person and led you to become you.
Fantastic question.
Thank you.
I mean, it's definitely one of my creations. I mean, I'd like to say that I won some sort of award, some kind of more just like local prestige. You know, it wasn't something that everyone across the world would know, but one of my creations was just in the right place at the right time. Like I'd say occasionally I used to take my my inventions to, I don't know, the equivalent of like a job fair, invention fair, you know, show off your shit. And it just was in the right place at the right time, and someone really rich found it and put me in the running for some kind of local award.
All right.
Trying to get more specific, but I'm struggling.
Can I give you a suggestion, maybe?
Yes, please.
So I like this idea of you achieving an award, but how would you feel if it wasn't so much like something you a contest you entered? Like I believe that you might have entered many of them, and I think a lot of times you probably did really well. People are very impressed, but a lot of times it was like, well, this isn't exactly that kind of invention we're looking for. This is a little.
I've been told
weird.
no a lot of times.
Yes, you tinker and you're very good at what you do, but your creations are so strange. Your one of your greatest creations is a cybernetic bird, for God's sake.
Jello.
And people are very impressed, but it's not something that they find to be suitable for their needs, something that they can monetize, something that they can take advantage of. But I think in this particular moment, you created something that wasn't intended to be monetized, that wasn't intended for any of these purposes, wasn't intended for even a fair or a contest. But you created something to help. You created something to help your grandma. And
yes.
It was so effective that it caught the attention of some big wig, some big name that, you know, offered you scholarships, so you a chance to go and make, you know, something with your life. And whether you took that and, you know, took a couple years of college or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's up to you. But I think the idea of you just, after all of this trying, all of this competition, all you did was do something to help your grandma, and someone immediately said, that was amazing.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it is. You're so good. You're so good at this. It's like you're taking like my idea and you're just putting it into perfection. So yes, okay, so
thank you.
it was like I'm imagining, okay, something in the tea. So my grandma owns a tea shop on, I don't know, the other side of town, and she as she's getting older, it's harder for her to like lift the kettle and like, you know, brew in large quantities and things like that. So I built something for her that automates all that. It's like this. Do you remember in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Have you seen it?
No, I don't.
Okay, you gotta watch it. It's the scene where there's just like you know, machines everywhere doing everything for this family. There's like, it's cracking the eggs on the frying pan and frying the eggs on its own. It's like all these mechanical things. I'll look up this scene and I'll send it to you. But
okay. Just
like stuff that makes mundane tasks easier and automated.
Hell yeah.
And yeah.
What if and this is just a little, you know, spice on top. What if, like, for your grandma specifically, it's these little gloves, like little arthritic support gloves, but that all along them little like machine arms come out and just
yeah, like
and yeah, like from the finger just another hand comes out that's real tiny and does real you know, fine detail
she
stuff.
Just holds her fingers like this and everything's just
she just makes little motion into this thing. She's like cutting up a salad or whatever.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I like the imagery of that. Just a grandma going.
She's just sitting there and her fingers are doing all, and it's like connected to her, the mana within her, so it like knows what she needs it to do and it does it. And
so
I
you
love
just
that.
made your grandmother Dr. Octopus?
Finger wise,
arthritic
yes.
Dr. Octopus, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the person was impressed by, was the connection between the device and the mana, and allowing the mana to be interpreted so specifically and so quickly. That process, whatever mechanism and program you built into that, that magical technical script, we're very impressed. And you got a free ride to college if you wanted it.
Yeah, I like that. I think that Max really.
I like a free ride to college.
I'm so into that. No, I think that Max really, for a really long time, craved recognition and craved someone just telling her that she was doing a good job. Like she just like we said, she's been told no so many times, and she was craving that. And then as soon as she let go of that and just did something to help her grandma, that's when the recognition came, when she least expected it.
Perfect. I'm gonna quickly write down the thing we just talked about into a thing, because it's gonna connect to another thing, and I need to remember it.
Okay, yes, that is a concept. Honestly, you guys, I could just do this for hours if you wanted to. Just say.
This is some of my favorite stuff about tabletop games. It's just creating detailed
shout
characters.
out, real quick though, Ollie. Shout out to your boy.
Yeah, fuck yeah!
Oh,
I got the other one. Hey!
Oh my god!
James D'Amato, thank you for being a part of our my other Zero
This
session.
video is sponsored by James D'Amato. Not really.
Well, you could if you wanted to, James.
Always, if you want to be a part of any of this, always. But it's spiritually sponsored. Thank you for helping create some of the world lore and building. I really appreciate it. And that'll go up eventually too. But anyways, David, it's going to be your turn in a second here.
Get ready. Get ready to dig deep.
Anyways, you got undersold. Desperately. A trip to college, nothing compared to what this could have made you.
Yeah.
But hey, that's life in the big city.
Yeah.
David, here's your last question.
All right.
You have a memory you hold very dear. It is warm, and it fills you with a love and strength that can fuel you for days. What is this memory?
Memory was probably. I think we talked about his brother also serving with him in the MSN.
I thought no.
Is it just him?
You were the only one that served in the MSN. The connection with your brother and the service is that you and him were part of essentially a civil war in a country located peripherally to here. This Ascension, this city, it is a city-state. It is a massive city. It is maybe 2-3 times the size of places like New York. It is a small, tiny country in the form of a city.
Okay.
And you were not born here. You're not a resident of this initially. You were from a nearby country, and while there are no wars between countries, the global government stops that before it ever happens. They oftentimes choose to ignore internal conflicts, deciding that whoever comes out on top are going to have to follow the global laws regardless, so that they don't care. As long as there isn't too much casualties of innocence, they're just not going to bother with the effort.
I gotcha.
And you were part of this group of either the resistance or part of the insurgents or whatever. You were part of this unfortunate civil war. Maybe you were very dedicated or not, and that's where you and your brother became what you became.
Okay, then I'm going to dial back then. I think probably a really nice memory for him was when Shin and Bison were traveling then to our current city. And we're kind of like in between, we're on the road, and you're just kind of like away from the buildings and the chaos of everything. And you just kind of have like, that kind of peace and space. You know, I think he probably really enjoyed that for a moment.
Hell yeah. This is beautiful. So in the world of Terra, there's civilized areas, and then there's the wilds. The wilds,
Yes.
surround all cities, countries, everything. It's just happens to be where monsters might be found, and not just big animals. Those are also there, but things called monstrosities that are chaos and entropy and disinformation given form. And they're there, they're present, but they're not everywhere. People, in small villages, they live outside all the time and they're fine. They have small teams that patrol and keep monstrosities out. It's not that sort of constant threat. It's just possible to come across them. And when you don't, when you find that the wilds are equally as a part of you, as part of people, as it is a part of these creatures and these monsters, it can definitely feel like one of those experiences that make you feel larger than you are, more connected, more expanded.
Yep, exactly.
And I also love the idea of this being, shortly after the incident with Bison's father, your brother, and this being those first few moments when you're realizing that while he might be your nephew, you are this child's dad, essentially.
Yeah, I think it was like, they probably were out on the road, he wakes up one morning, Bison's, it's one of the rare occasions, like he's up before Bison, and he just like has this moment where it's quiet, there's like, the air is chill, there's crickets or something, and it like all hits him at once, and he's just kind of there to just kind of like take it in. So, yeah. That's what I'd say. It's probably, it was a strangely liberating memory for him. It's kind of like a bright spot in terms of like recent things that have kind of been going on.
Yeah, I think with the kind of character that you have, like there's a lot of internal conflict. I think your AI thing, like yes, part of it is just this is fun to do, it's fun to play, it's fun to whatever. But all storylines with this sort of internalized conflict is always, metaphorical in terms of someone, battling with their own mind in some way. It's not always, multiple personalities or anything that's claiming, not disability, but a condition of that kind. That's beyond what we can say for sure. But it's that idea of even within just anyone, you have sometimes these very dark desires and thoughts, and when you're disconnected from the world that provides you the reason for those thoughts, you can feel very free.
You have that moment of it's cathartic.
I think for those maybe days, couple weeks that you were traveling, the AI was surprisingly silent.
I imagine, like, I don't know, I am obviously not a soldier, and I don't really know many like people who have served necessarily, but I imagine it's a lot of like, were you in like active duty, like you were in the field, right?
Shin?
Yeah. So I imagine there's a lot of like people telling you what to do and just having to show up constantly, having to be there, having to be present and ready to go. And this was just like there's nothing to do right now. There's nothing that I have to do right now.
He's on vacation.
Like utter peace. Yes, a true vacation from all responsibility. Nice.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yep.
That is all the questions I have. We've built our heroes. I will build Bison in the background. You guys won't get to know everything about him. He's got some secrets for you. And anyone who listened, this is probably going to be the longest of our episodes, as this has been, the big starter.
Famous last words.
A lot of housekeeping to get done on the front end of things.
Yes. But that being said, if you stuck around, thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. And I hope you stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Also, sorry for my camera quality. Oh, well,
Mine-
that'll be fixed by
I have
next time.
been telling him to fix that before this for
I
months
I-
now.
I too need to improve my camera. I need to get a little like front light because I'm just lit by the surrounding in my
Honestly-
fucking computer.
This is all you need.
Yeah, I don't even have that. Should get one.
It's like $20 on Amazon or something. We'll get you
All
one.
right.
Dude, you don't have one?
No, my phone is my webcam.
I like your lighting though, to be honest.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. Yeah.
It's moody.
Uh,
Like the mood.
Thank you. But yes, thank you for watching, and there's definitely more to come. If you want to actually play the game, there will be pretty consistent updates, every month or 2 or 3, depending on how slow I am, on itch.io. I think it's / Delta Cryptid Productions. I have Terra Magia up on there. There'll be, links in the description, that sort of thing. Yeah, you can play for free. You can donate if you really feel feisty. And any other games or whatever happens that come out of me will be put up there too. All right. I don't have any idea for how to end this.
We're figuring this out as we go.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.